Hey Goddess, it's Andrea with You Are Mind, Body, Soul. And today we are going to talk about vibration and frequency. It's a new moon, so I just wanted to give birth to some new energy for us and really start to get the conversation started on some of this deeper level information that is still really important for our day to day life, right? So, the topic of today is frequency and vibration. I hope that you are doing well as we enter into Mercury retrograde and that you are taking care of yourself, and doing everything that you need to do to keep your vibe high. So, oftentimes there's a lot of talk about vibe, frequency, energy. So, I really wanted to get into what exactly that is. Okay. So, let's start with personal reality. So, your personal reality, what you wake up to on a day to day basis, how you feel in response to what you are experiencing in your life, and just the general life path that you feel that you are on is your personal reality. And if you see me looking down, I have my notes right here so that I can stay right on track and make sure that I cover all of this really juicy information for you today. Okay. So your personal reality is looking at what do you have going on in your life path. Let's say when you were younger, what you thought your life would be like in this very moment. Like, are you living what you believe is your destiny? Are you aligned with what you feel is the lifestyle that you were meant to live? It's not enough to just be content with the reality that you have. You deserve to feel overjoyed about life, to feel excited about life when you wake up. So every day, ask yourself, like, am I excited? Do I feel juicy about waking up to life? If not, this video is for you. So in your personal reality, it is you living in attunement with whatever your desires are. And one of the things that you can start to do is, if you're saying, well, Andrea, I don't really know what I want, is you can start to get a dream board and you can begin to go through the different aspects of your life. So, what would you like for your life to look like a month from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now? Where do you want to live? How much money do you want to be making? How do you want to feel in your body? How do you want your body to look? What do you want your community to be like? What do you want your friends to be like? What do you want your relationships to be like? What do you want to create? So these are things that can help you start to use your imagination to find attunement with your desires. One of the things that I talk about in my book, Exploring Your Divine Feminine Potential, is how to really get in touch with your desires. A lot of times as women, we are afraid, either afraid of our desires. If we do finally tap into something that kind of gives you like that, yummy, yeah, I want to have this kind of energy. So we're either afraid of it, or we have not even been told that this is something that we can have. So we may not believe that we can have something, so we don't even allow it to come in to our reality. And what is your reality to begin with? Your personal reality. It is your personality, right? So your personality is going to be consistent of how you think, how you behave in response to what you think, and your beliefs set the foundation for that. So in my private practice, I do something that is called consciousness reconditioning, where I help women allow themselves and open up a space within vibrationally their frequency to shift so that they can start to believe in the things that they really desire. Because desire is not enough. You have to believe that you can actually achieve it in order for it to manifest in your personal reality. You have to allow your personality to evolve into one that is in alignment with the personal reality that you desire, right? So if you want to have a better body and look better, instead of looking at someone that has something that you think you want, and we talked about this in the previous video, and thinking to yourself, this is unattainable, you have to start to believe that if you make that internal shift with your beliefs, which will then change your behavior. So I believe that I am deserving of a better body, and therefore I am going to feed my body in a more healthier way and be consistent with that. I'm going to be dedicated to my journey to find out what I need to eat. In order to allow my body to form into what I want it to be. So everything starts from the inside. It is all an inside job. Trust me. Okay. So another thing that you can do to help to evolve your personality on a subconscious level, so this means that you don't have to think about it so much, is you can actually create a dream board. So a dream board is going to be a place where you can kind of set up the imagery for all of those questions that I was just asking you. Where do I want to live? What do I want my environment to look like? What do I want my body to look like? So what you do is you find pictures, and you can do this on apps on your phone. You can do this old school and get the cardboard out and put it on a board. And there are usually categories. There's like money, there's health, there are your personal relationships, there's your career, there's travel, those things. So you can kind of categorize it and then find pictures online to then go ahead and either put on your electronic dream board or put it on a dream board somewhere in your house. Or you could take the electronic dream board and then you can print it out, which is what I like to do. I like to get like miniature pictures of my electronic dream board, and I will print it out and place it in locations around the house or like in my agenda where I will look at it, and it will just kind of work with the subconscious mind, which is the mind that is not always like aware in the forefront of my thoughts, but it's usually controlling my behavior, right? So dream boards help you to work with your subconscious mind in the form of imagery, which is the creative right side of the mind, in order to start to subconsciously program you and remind you for the life that you set intentions for. Because at the end of the day, if you want to change something in your reality, especially your personal reality, you have to be prepared to be consistent with that in order to see any kind of change. And consistency comes from dedication, and dedication comes from being intentional. So for our lives to start to take the shape of what we would prefer to be rather than what it is by default, we have to start to be intentional. And that's why I like to work with the full moon and the new moon, because in my goddess alchemy, it helps me to keep a rhythm of life and check in with myself and just make sure that I'm always on a path of becoming a higher, better, juicier, fun, more beautiful, vibrant version of myself, right? So your personal reality is how you are vibrating. That's your vibe. Do you live in a reality where it is positive and you have that glow about you when you step into a room, or you have like a positive glow that is emanating from your essence when you wake up in life, right? Does it feel good? And does your personality on the inside, does your mood, does the way that you feel in your body, is it a foundational blueprint for what you want to receive in life? Okay, so frequency and vibration can always be observed through personal reality and how that is a reflection of your personality. So that is point one. Okay, so when something is actually vibrating, okay, that means that it is moving at a deeper than cellular level. So everything that is solid is vibrating at a deeper level. We are all affected by one vibration or another. And the next question that I want you to ask yourself is, am I a vibrational match for the reality in which I desire? So am I participating in the behaviors that if I continue to participate in these behaviors 5 years from now, 10 years from now, am I setting myself up for a better life? Or is the behavior and the way in which I'm vibrating now setting me up for a life that is the same? So you should be growing at a rate. Sometimes you're growing exponentially. Who's to say that you have to grow at a slow, elevating rate? But regardless, we should be growing. Okay. So the divine feminine in its essence is expansive. It is something that you can't contain to begin with. So when you're tapped into your feminine energy, you are always expanding out of old paradigms. So I want you to think about, let's say 2 years ago, and ask yourself, is there something that you didn't know then that you know now? So take a moment and think about that. And then ask yourself, what changed in order for you to not only understand what you know now, but in order to not even have to think about that truth? So for me, 2 years ago, I did not know just how worthy I was of joy and peace and happiness. Maybe like 2, 3, probably like 3, 4 years ago, actually, it was before the pandemic. Um, I didn't know how worthy and how valuable I was. I knew that I was worthy of more, but my behavior, I was settling for less, right? So it was something that I knew, and I was having these conversations with myself, but I was kind of battling old and new paradigms. And this showed up as a reflection in my reality in the form of my relationship. Right. So then I had that moment where I was like, you know what? I absolutely want to be dedicated to a better future for myself. And so I got out of that relationship and I started to ask for more for myself. And now, present me knows that I am worthy and I am valuable of much, much more. And because I don't have to think about it anymore, I just allow it. I don't debate. There is no back and forth about my personal worth and my personal value because I made it a part of my personal vibration, which is now my personality. And I don't have to explain that to anybody. I just can now show up for who I am. And all of this is because I learned how to shift and to recondition my personal vibration. So vibration is an energy. Before you have a thought, it comes in the form of vibration. And vibration is actually everywhere. It is within us and it is also in our external reality. Before, I used to live in Florida, okay? And I lived by myself for a really long time. And when I was in Florida, I wasn't happy because vibrationally, there was my spirit, which was calling to me to live a life where I had more, I was doing more, and I was being more. I was a more joyful version of myself. Spiritually, I could feel this, but in my physical reality, it wasn't necessarily reflecting at the rate in which I knew it could. So I started to have this thought where it was, well, what if I actually leave out of this state, which I was born and raised in? I lived in Florida up until I was in my late 20s. Okay. And so I started to think like I had this opportunity to leave the state. Everything that I knew in Florida was kind of crumbling, and I really wasn't holding on to anything except this old personality and this old reality, which energetically I could feel myself outgrowing because I was being called, I was being beckoned forth by my future self. So my environment was reflecting an old paradigm, but energetically, vibrationally, I felt like I was bigger than that. So I moved. It took a lot of courage for me to allow myself to believe that I could live a different reality, a different lifestyle. And of course, it took a little bit of time for me to get to the place where I could say, okay, now I'm living the lifestyle that I want to live. But I had to take the action and I had to take the steps in order to get there. So what I did was to shift and to find alignment with my vibration. I moved up north. Okay. So I moved to the northeastern part of the country. So New York, and now I live in Connecticut. And as soon as I shifted the vibration of my external environment by moving to a place where people were more open-minded, people were more progressive, things were at a faster pace, my life started to become a reflection of that. So I was in tune with my higher self, which is my goddess, my divine self, that tells me when it's time to make a shift, when she is ready to grow and when she is ready to expand. I listen to the voice of the divine. And I shifted my external environment so that I could feel more comfortable in this expanding internal environment. And my life started to speed up. And I felt I found this incredible community who accepted me and loved me, and I was able to create more. I was able to be more authentic. I've grown and I've learned so much about myself as a woman, as a creator, and as a leader, because I knew that that old vibration was not in alignment with the vibration that I will ultimately become. And I'm not saying that it's always going to be that clear, but if you allow yourself to just play with the idea of something that scares you in a good way, just a little bit, you can slowly start to get more comfortable with slowly allowing yourself to believe those things. So there's your inner environment, which is your personality, and then there is your external environment, which is what you allow, right? And your circumstances. Sometimes I understand that we don't always have the best of circumstances. I come from really hard, challenging circumstances where I basically had to figure out everything on my own. I didn't have excellent leadership when it comes to just figuring out how to adult. So I had to do that, on my own. And I had to persevere at times in my life in environments where I had to deal with abuse, where I had to deal with people that didn't respect me, people that were throwing shade against me. And I didn't have anyone where I could say, hey, well, I'm feeling this way. Can we talk about it? I basically had to journal my way through life. And I had to learn by finding, reading books, finding YouTube videos, and just educating myself and being responsible for my own personal vibration, right? So you want to become a vibrational match for that in which you desire. Most of the time, majority of the time, it starts off inside. But sometimes we also have the ability to say yes or to say no to certain realities, and you can shift them just by making a choice. So ask yourself, is there something that I am opting into that I don't have to? Am I telling myself that I have to do this because some old part of me is telling me that I have to? Or do I actually have to be here for the time being, right? So you want to start to have these honest conversations with yourself in order to shift your vibration into one that works for you. Okay. Let me see. What else do I have here? right? So when you change your desire and when you change your belief, you allow yourself to access more. So now that I believe that I am worthy of more, life, in fact, does show me that. And I am no longer settling for the relationships and the things that I used to. It's not a problem anymore because vibrationally, that is where I am. So now, because of the way that I've conditioned myself, the way that I condition myself to think, believe, and act, I'm able to magnetize and I'm able to attract things that are better for my higher good and for my future self to thrive. I no longer focus on survival. It is about thriving. It is about becoming better. So, are the behaviors that you're partaking in ones that help you to become a greater version of yourself every day? What do you spend your time doing? What do you spend your time thinking about? Who do you spend your time with? What do you put in your body? Who do you put in your body? Who do you share your space with? You want to become more stingy with it. Like I like to say, like Esther and Jerry Hicks said, I think it's them. They say you have to become a vibrational snob. You want to become stingy about who you share your energy with, who you share your vibration with, especially as you begin to expand into different levels of your divinity. You will be transcending out of what the average person believes they have access to in their reality, because divinity is about transcending the limiting beliefs of what society tells you, what your parents have told you, what your peers have told you. When you are working on your own personal divine vibration, you have to transcend all of these things. And I'm here to tell you that it can be lonely, but you are not alone. There are so many people that are walking the unbeaten path, and they are finding such a deeper sense of joy in life because they had the courage to do this. So I want to encourage you to have the courage to step out of your comfort zone for the sake of living a better, bolder, more juicy, more worthy, valuable life. Well, all life has value, but to allow yourself to walk in high value, right? Okay. So, what is vibration exactly? What is frequency exactly? We are surrounded in a world of frequency, right? So, any matter in space that exists, whether it is something hard and physical, intangible, or whether it is something that is intangible, like a thought, it vibrates through this reality along wavelengths. So, my voice has a vibration to it. And I use my voice to speak and affirm positivity into my life. Your thoughts have a vibration. So your positive thoughts, your cells are listening to your thoughts and you're programming your cells with your thoughts. Your body is listening to the vibration of your thoughts. And it is saying, I feel healthy, I feel whole, or I feel tired, I feel weak, I feel dependent on whatever. So your body is always going to listen to the vibration of your thoughts. Okay. That is a vibration. Your phones, electronic, they emit electromagnetic frequencies. Okay. That come off of the electronics in order to transmit these signals. Okay. The television has frequencies and it vibrates in a certain particular way. Crystals have a vibration of the way in which they were formed in the earth that emit a certain frequency that is unseen, but we can feel it. This is why crystal medicine is so powerful. Food has a vibration. The animals that we eat have a vibration. They lived a life. They had thoughts of their own. They might not have been able to speak English, but they had thoughts, they had feelings, right? And when they are being processed for us to eat, we are partaking in the vibration in which they lived on as well. Plants have a vibration, they have a frequency that they live on. They are channeling and energy and receiving energy from the sunlight, from the earth. They have a vibration, plants, right? So every living thing, every inanimate thing has a pulse to it. And this is scientifically proven. It is not woo-woo. Everything is on a scale of vibration. Okay, so we want to be aware of what we're surrounding ourselves in. When I lived in Florida, I was living at a slower vibration. Pretty much Florida has, a consistent weather pattern. It may get cold sometimes, but it's usually sunny and or raining, right? There is a consistency to the vibration of the weather down there. So what happens is it programs people to say, I'm, on a subconscious level, it affects them. And things are pretty much consistent. You don't have to prepare for winters where you may not have access to groceries, or where, you may have certain things happening. You may have less sunlight because it's winter. They always have it down in Florida. So the first thing that I noticed when I shifted my external environment was I noticed that, wow, the seasons change. And this is, I feel intuitively, is one of the primary reasons why things move faster up north, because people that live up north recognize that once the weather changes, things will literally slow down. So during certain seasons, there is a sense of urgency and the shift of energy and the frequency that is a direct effect of the earth and the seasons. We feel it up here. We feel the lack of sun in the winter. We appreciate and value the sun and the outdoor activities that comes with it in the spring and in the summer. So when I came and I moved up here, that was a big change for me. The fall and the winter and experiencing the divine feminine season, the darkness, not being able to go outside as much or enjoy sun, and really having to live inside of this inner space and inside of really get into my body and my mind and doing my inner work. There's a lot more there during the fall and the winter because you can't go out and be distracted. You can't go and get the sun. You can't get charged up like that. So these are just some of the things that I'm talking about, right? So nature has a vibration, electronics has a vibrations, our thoughts, our feelings have vibrations. These vibrations can be high and they can be low, okay? So I want to offer you an exercise. It's called Vibe Check, okay? So you can start to see what level you are vibrating at just by bringing awareness to this space. So in the morning, when you wake up, I want you to go vibe check, vibe check, right? You can like tap yourself, or you could rub yourself. You can go vibe check, like tap your temple or rub your temple, just to kind of send your body a signal, like I'm checking in with you. Before you check in with all of the stimulation in your external environment and things like that, just go vibe check, okay? And I want you to check in with your mental, physical, and emotional vibration. Ask yourself, how am I feeling emotionally? Do I feel like I'm at a higher, more joyful, more positive frequency? Or do I feel like I'm waking up and I'm complaining? I'm feeling like depressed. I'm feeling like I'm not looking forward to my day. Are you having thoughts about what you're looking forward to creating, what you're looking forward to sharing, what you are looking forward to someone sharing with you? Or are you waking up with regrets already? Like, oh man, I gotta go. I'm working with this manager today. Or I know I have to go and I have to go deal with this problem today. Like, how are your thoughts contributing to your vibration, right? You wanna vibe check that. How is my body feeling? Is my body vibrating at a place where I feel like I have to be dependent on caffeine to wake myself up and to do what I need to do today? Or do I feel like I can be independent of caffeine? Do I feel like I can be joyous without the stimulation of caffeine? Right? So you vibe check. And then at different points throughout your day, you can make them pre-scheduled distinct points. You can do maybe like at 11:11 or like 1:11, 11 p.m. You can do it once an hour, whatever you decide with yourself. You can do it whenever you eat, whenever you drink water, or excuse me, you can just do it throughout the day, just to develop mindfulness. So this is like a mindfulness practice. And you just stop. You could be driving at the light. You can be like, vibe check. How am I feeling? What thoughts do I have that are like running through me right now? Is there like a part of my body that's like aching? Like, is there a part of my body that's aching right now? Vibe check, right? And when you make this a habit, that is like one of the easiest ways to bring that psychosomatic awareness to yourself, that vibrational awareness of what you have going on in your inner world, in your world. Because at the end of the day, our external world is a reflection of what we have going on the inside. Our external world is a reflection of our personal vibration. Okay. And if you need to adopt like crystals to help to elevate your vibration, if you need to listen to positive audios or positive uplifting music, be careful with the music that you listen to. It has a vibration. So just be aware of the vibrations that you're mixing with throughout the day, the vibration that you share when you show up around the people that you know, the vibration that you maintain when you're by yourself. And so I just wanted to share just a little introduction to frequency. I don't know if this is going to be a training or not in my upcoming courses, but I did want to get the conversation started there. So you can comment below and leave a blue heart. And if you've gotten this far, or if you receive something from the content, and if you're going to use some of the journaling exercises or the embodiment exercises that I shared with you. And also, I wanted to say that I am going to be having a course. It's going to be a mind, body, soul detox, where we are going to be dopamine detoxing together. And I'm going to be doing this course, hosting it live. And then after the course is hosted live, I'm going to be putting it inside of the mystery school, where it will live forevermore. So if you get in on the course early, when I first launch it, you will always have access to the material indefinitely, all of the new menu plans, because when we dopamine detox, we're cleaning up our diet, we're cleaning up our thoughts, we're cleaning up the vibrational frequency around us, and you'll have access to all new information that I put in there indefinitely. So I will have those links for you soon, and you can stay in touch by joining the email list. The link is below. You can read the book that I just wrote, my ebook called Exploring Your Divine Feminine Potential, a playbook for the awakening goddess. That is also linked below. If you want to take an independent journey with yourself, there are 33 journaling exercises, 33 embodiment exercises, and just a lot of super valuable information. And all of my social medias are linked below. This is Andrea. I hope that you received this message with whole heart energy, and you found value in it. Please like, share, and subscribe. One love.